Late night, past my bedtime. Yom Kippur has concluded. I needed a little bit of time to unwind, to catch my breath, sort out my thoughts. Beautiful, beautiful high holidays. Together we created something beautiful, and I'm so very proud of our congregation at a time in the world where it can feel a little rough out there. I really do believe we created moments of sanctuary in our sanctuary. My favorite sermon was called Let's Talk About Death. Every time I would think about it, I'd want to go, Let's talk about death, baby. Let's talk about you and me. I didn't do that from the pulpit. Talked a little bit about what happens after we died. Spoiler alert, it's the ultimate in subjectivity. Who knows? And quite frankly, who cares? Life is to be lived. We live our lives here and do good in this world for the sake of doing good in this world, not for some vague promise of a heaven to come that may or may not exist. What I want to hang my hat on is the reward of doing good is having done good. So I talked about the unknowingness of what happens after we die, a little bit from the Jewish tradition, a little bit from my own perspective. I talked about what I do know is real, the countless families I've sat with after losing a loved one, preparing for their funerals, husbands and wives, fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. I've buried many, many people. And I've sat with so many families and asked them deep questions about their relationships. The one question I always ask at the end is always the most unfair because the person who can answer it is the person who is deceased. So I ask them, how would your father, how would your mother, sister, brother, husband, wife, how would they like to be remembered? Nobody can answer that question but you. And the way you share how you want to be remembered is how you live your life now. So I thought I would take that idea of the primacy of life, that how we are remembered is how we live now. And I wanted to take that idea and I wanted to shine it onto my card collection and onto sports card collecting in general, because I'm really curious to know what you think. Welcome to the Rated Rabbi Sports Card Podcast, where sports cards and pop culture meet the 1984 All-Star Game. I am your host, Rabbi David Spinrad. This is episode 38, What We Leave Behind. Well, I view collecting as a spiritual practice, part of the art of living. And when I'm done collecting, I want my collection to reflect a spiritual journey. I want it to reflect a collector who learned patience. I want it to show somebody who had fun collecting cards. I want my collection, I want the cards I leave behind to be beautiful, like life. I want my final collection to reflect that I had priorities. And because I did have priorities as a collector, I was able to create a beautiful collection with the time I had when I began collecting and with the resources I was able to use. I want my collection to reflect somebody who had a love of learning. I am a learner. I love learning about cards, sets, runs, players, just so much to learn. So fun to dive into the minutia. I want my collection to reflect somebody who paid attention to the inner journey of life, who saw card collecting as a spiritual practice and a metaphor for who we are. And this is really why I collect. The cards are nice, but it's never been about the cards. It's always been about the inner journey. When I think also of how I want to be remembered, I don't want my collection to be a burden. As I've said on this show before, I just want a very small collection of beautiful cards. I want maybe 10% or less of my cards to hold 90% or more of their value. And the other ones, just for fun. It's hard to stay out of that middle area. It's not so bad. Again, collecting is just a spiritual practice, like a religion or like yoga or meditation. None of us are perfect as card collectors. We're all just practicing. And I want my practice to reflect a love of beauty and patience and fun, of having priorities, of loving to learn. I want my collection to be about the inner journey. And in the end, I don't want to be a burden on anyone with what I leave behind. Tell me how your collection reflects you. Tell me how it's a part of your personality. What are the traits in you that show up most in your collection? What are the traits you're trying to develop in order to become a better collector? Leave me a note in the comments. If you close your eyes, what baseball card do you see? Or if football is your first card, love football. Or if basketball is your first card, love basketball. I'm going to go with baseball. When you close your eyes, what card is the dictionary definition? What card is baseball card when you think of it? Do you have one in your imagination? Are you seeing it in your mind's eye? Can you picture that card? Who were you when you first saw that card? If you pulled it from a pack, where were you? Who were you with when you first got that card? What card do you see when you think about baseball cards? Maybe it's not something you pulled from a pack. Maybe it's something you bought at a show or at a shop. What card is baseball cards to you? For me, without any question, the 1978 Topps card number 200, Reggie Jackson. When I close my eyes and when I think about cards, my primal imprint card, the card of cards, my card, if you will, 1978 Topps, Reggie Jackson. My God, this is such a great baseball card. I'm going to break it down. For me, it's the best card of the 1970s. Okay. It's got that great 1978 cursive script font in the bottom left-hand corner in red. Next to it in, is that navy blue? No, it's black. Black all caps font, Reggie Jackson. White border, Yankee blue, almost like a pinstripe running all the way around the border. The picture of Reggie is full on Reggie Jackson corkscrew swing. The back knee, the left knee, almost touching the ground. The front foot slightly turned out on the outer edge of his foot. Swing is finished. Bat coming all the way around. Hips squared towards the front. Eyes on the ball. Reggie wearing that 1970s batting helmet, no ear flaps. Reggie rocking those sweet aviators. Reggie with the mustache. Beautiful sun-kissed Sunday afternoon at Yankee Stadium. Packed crowd behind him. He is the king of baseball in this shot. 1978 Topps. This would have been his first card issued after his unforgettable 1977 performance against the Dodgers. 3 swings, 3 home runs to win the World Series for the New York Yankees. It's like my first baseball fan memory. I don't remember watching it, but I remember after it happened because the Kluskis had moved to Nevada in 1978. I got into baseball. So I wasn't quite a fan, but everyone was talking about it. And I remember getting this Reggie Jackson card. This is baseball cards to me, 1978 Reggie Jackson. One more thing, the thing that actually makes this card just puts it over the top right-hand corner, the All-Star Shield. Red, white, and blue says AL All-Star, that awesome shield. What makes this All-Star logo the best of all time? Well, it's the best of all time, and they only used it one time. I'm sorry. There's not even a number 2. This one is so good, it gets first place and second place, and if you're not careful, it's gonna snatch up the bronze as well. 1978 Reggie. I love this card. It makes me so very, very happy. So we're heading into the top half of the 4th inning. Fernando on for his 2nd inning of work. Facing quite a lineup. He's facing top of the 4th, he's gonna face Winfield, Reggie, and George Brett. Next episode, we're gonna spend some time talking about what's coming up. This is an iconic, iconic performance by Fernando. We're gonna take our time with it. I just want to tease it for the next episode. Give me a chance to talk about that 1978 Reggie, since Reggie's batting 2nd in the 4th. Just trying to put together that real small collection. Just a few cards, and then mostly after that, low end. I do have a few things that are in the middle. I'm still working on those 2020 Obsidian Supernovas and 1 of 1 or 1 of 5 if I can't find or afford the 1 of 1. Got a little Nick Bosa collection. I've been known to pick up the odd Topps Chrome or Topps Finest gold or occasionally the orange, but primarily the gold from 2010 through 2014, the World Series years. Only the good players. I'm not going to get Brett Pill, but I did get a Bumgarner recently. What else? I might dabble a little Garrison Hurst. Not my nostalgia, but I do like Garrison Hurst cards from the 1990s. I'm trying to figure out what to collect next. I've thought about doing a Diamond Kings run. But I don't know. It's a, like it's the volume thing. Like it's like I want cards, but I don't know. The thing about if you do a set run like this or an insert run, you end up with cards like this. 1984 Donruss Pittsburgh Pirate outfielder Doug Frobel. Like, do I need this card? Do I want this card? Will I feel like I've achieved something if I get the rated rookie set? Everyone thinks this is actually the inaugural rated rookie set. Doesn't have the cool logo, the one that inspired my rated Rabbi logo. This is more like the banner on the 84 Donruss. Everyone thinks this is the first one. It's not. 1983 Donruss has a 6-card. It's not even like a logo. It's actually on the back of the card. It says Donruss Rated Rookie. 6 guys, most notably Chicago Cub Mel Hall. 84 is the first one to have a banner on the front. 85, it creates the logo that you know and love so well. So I'm going to do something like this. I don't know. It just feels like I'm just collecting, just buying to buy, just doing to do. And just kind of going to sit tight and Keep my eyes on the prize, saving up for big cards and occasionally picking up one of those other fellas like the Bosa or the Hurst. All right. This is a short one. It's been a long day. Been a beautiful day. I needed a few minutes to clear my head, and we'll do this again next Monday. I have a great episode for you. I one I've been saving. Super, super fun. A really, really cool card. I'm going to drop a little non-sports on the Rated Rabbi Sports Card podcast. It's a cool one though because it's pop culture. Until we meet again, may you and those you love enjoy and be blessed with long life. So long for now.